Hi and welcome to another Axual release update. In this update we will share highlights of our autumn release 2020.3. We have an exciting mix of different subjects. Whether it's about simplifying deployment of the platform using Kubernetes, Connect updates or using your favorite client, you'll find it all in this release update. Many organizations have been containerizing their services or workloads over the past couple of years. But just containerizing them is not enough. When systems or platforms consist of a multitude of services, and certainly when there are dependencies between those services, any form of orchestration is a must-have. When looking at orchestration options, there's one particular container orchestration platform that really stands out: Kubernetes. Kubernetes is an open source project which has its origin with Google only 6 years ago and now has over 3,000 unique contributors. It has become the de facto standard for container orchestration. But despite the fact that it's immensely popular, Kubernetes in itself is still quite complex. A steep learning curve needs to be overcome before you can start reaping the benefits. This is especially true when it comes to performing deployments and installations of software components or entire platforms. This is where the package manager named Helm comes in. Helm helps you to manage Kubernetes applications. Helm Charts helps you to define, install and upgrade even the most complex Kubernetes application. As of release 2020.3, we support the deployment of Axual using Helm Charts. To streamline the deployment of the platform, we are basing our installation of the platform on the StreamZ operator and conveniently called our operator Axual operator. Over time, we will completely phase out our current way of deploying the platform using Axual CLI. In the following short demo, you can see step by step how the platform is being deployed using Helm Charts. The demo is performed on a MacBook Pro with Docker installed and Kubernetes enabled. Also, I have installed K9s, which is an excellent tool for troubleshooting and debugging Kubernetes installations, both locally and remote. If you have access to our Docker repo, you can follow along yourself. For a list of prerequisites and install instructions, please use the URL shown on your screen. Alright, let's get started. First, we create a namespace for this installation. Secondly, we store the secrets for the actual Docker repo to retrieve the Docker images. Next, we install Axual operator. Axual operator acts as a real operator, orchestrating the deployment of Axual locally and responding to certain platform events. To install operator, first I check out the operator repo. Then I install the Helm chart. You should now see StreamZ cluster operator listed, which is the resource responsible for orchestrating the deployment. Now I check out the repo with the actual Helm charts. Next, I perform another Helm install. The already running operator will now see that a platform is being installed and will perform all the tasks needed to deliver a fully functional Axual platform. Finally, I perform the following tasks to set up an ingress router to get access to the platform locally. I use K9s again so I can easily see whether all services are up before I move to the next step. Of course, you can do the same installation against the remote or managed Kubernetes cluster. Subscribe to our channel if you don't want to miss an upcoming video about this. In the 2020.2 release, we introduced Connect and self-service capabilities for connector management. For this release, we worked hard to improve the stability of Connect by introducing some bug fixes. Secondly, we are proud to announce to have added a new connector to the list of supported connectors. This new connector is the HTTP sync connector, which can be used to push new messages on a Kafka topic to any HTTP endpoint that is able to handle the payload, as you can see in this diagram. The HTTP sync connector is a highly configurable connector. You can 1. configure your own authentication method by implementing and supplying an authentication provider. Currently, a basic authentication provider is bundled with the connector. 2. Format messages the way you like to make them compatible for the target system by implementing a custom message formatter. 3. You can configure which Kafka message headers to forward to the target system as HTTP headers by modifying the header.selector options. In addition, you can configure retry and redirect behavior as you please. And 5. We have added configuration options to allow the use of self-signed certificates for your HTTP endpoint. Those can be configured independently of Connect itself. The HTTP Sync connector is supported in Kafka Connect 2.3.0 and can be found by following the link in the description. You might be aware that we already offer a Java and .NET library to connect your producer or consumer app to the platform. Those libraries help to simplify the configuration and guarantee a connection to a working Kafka cluster in the background. As a developer, you don't have to worry about this, let alone that your code needs to account for it. However, there is another language which is definitely used a lot by data engineers. Obviously, I'm talking about Python. With Python, you get access to a wide range of data processing libraries. Wouldn't it be great to leverage those tools on streams of events? Of course! That's why we're announcing the alpha release of our first Python client. With the Python client, you can set up a connection with Axual the way you are used to. First, you log into self-service. Then I create the application log stream for the Python producer to produce to and consumer to consume messages from. I make sure the correct key and value types are selected. In this case, I'm creating an application log stream with string as both the key and value types. Next, I create an application that represents the Python producer. Let's call it Python producer. Then I create another one for the consumer called Python consumer. Then I upload a certificate for the application. The certificate which is uploaded here is also used in the Python app itself. Next, I make sure our Python applications can connect to the stream for producing and consuming respectively. This is all we need to do in self-service. Next, we build the Python application. I'm now demoing the app itself using PyCharm and the open sourced examples project. You can find a link to the repo in the description below. Let's start with the producer. I've prepared the code for this app already, so I'll walk you through it. First, I configure the client by providing the endpoint, tenant and environment. I use platform.local for endpoint, Axual for tenant and example for the environment. Also, I have provided the certificate, key and root CA locations. I define a callback so that I can see what happens with the individual produce requests. And then I create a simple loop to produce a total of 10 messages. Now let's start the app. You can see in the console that the callback reports that the messages have been produced successfully. The consumer is not much different. We use the same endpoint, the same tenant, and of course the same environment. Only the security files used for the consumer are different than those of the producer. Instantiating the consumer is done with the getConsumer method. The loop below makes sure we poll continuously for new messages. You can see that the consumer is successfully consuming the messages. As with our other clients, we have open sourced a Python client with some useful examples. You can find a link to the repo in the description below. A special shout out goes to our friends from North Pool whose contributions were crucial to make this first release happen. Another update worth mentioning is one regarding our .NET client. As of release 1.1.0 of this client, we have added support for older .NET Core versions and .NET Framework. Whereas our previous .NET client only supported .NET Core 3.1 and above, we now support .NET Core 1.0 and above. As of release 1.1.0, we are supporting .NET Framework 4.6 in addition to .NET Core. For a handy summary, please refer to the URL in the description. We want to end the release video with a bang, so with great honor I would like to announce that as of this release we are offering anyone who wants to try Axual a free 14-day trial. No credit card required. That's it for release 2020.3. If you want to learn more about Axual, subscribe to our channel or drop us an email. For now, thanks for watching.